everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, hi, my name is Missa, I am from Edinburgh, I'm 27, this is not my real hair, I have extensions in, and welcome. Today, as you can see by the title, we are going to be playing with the Jeffree Star Alien palette. I had no intention of buying this palette, to be honest, absolutely zero intention, because for the main reason, I hate the packaging. I think it's awful. I hate weird shaped palettes. I just hate them. I love the color. I like the name. I hate this packaging. Honestly, that was the main reason I was not going to buy this palette, which I know isn't like a valid reason not to buy a palette, but the reason I did buy it is because I got about 7,000 messages on Instagram or anyone posting a picture using this palette, or on Trend Mood or anything. I got tagged in it so much to do a look using this palette and to review it, so I bought it. I spent my hard-earned money on this bad boy. It arrived today. I'm going to talk you through my buying process, and then we're going to do swatches and then jump into a demo of how I did this look here. So I bought this palette on the 30th of November. The day today is the 5th of December. Now, I obviously didn't buy it in the pre-sale at the beginning. I did buy it in the pre-sale, but on the 30th of November. So I knew I wasn't going to get it overnight, but it did arrive way quicker than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to take weeks and weeks and weeks. People are still waiting to get theirs. It's a bit of a nightmare in shipping, but there we go. I got mine in, what was that, 5 days? Not bad. It cost me £46. That's a lot of money. But I take a punt on it because I love Blood Sugar. It's one of my favourite palettes of all time. So I know his formula is really, really good. So this is what the box looks like. It's purple, it's sparkly, we don't need the box. And this is what the palette looks like, which is horrific in my opinion. Who else shares my opinion? Please let me know down in the comments. Do you agree or disagree? We don't need to fight, we can just cordially get on with life if you like it and I don't. It is about the size of my own head. It's pink, it's got like 3D alien eyes, it's got a mirror in it, and obviously this is what it looks like on the inside. Not to make a big show and dance bit because we've all seen it now. So yeah, it's a nice shadow palette and it's green and purple. We're going to move on to swatching every single shade. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've used 7 shades in this palette, so the other ones I haven't even touched. We're going to jump into swatches and then put it on my eyes. So let's just do that now, shall we? I'm going to have to take this jumper sleeve off so I've got a whole arm free. Okay, first shade is called Pluto, and it is a really pretty metallic. I've got it on my inner corner, on the start of my eye. The next shade is Titan, which is like a set your concealer kind of shade. Slightly darker than my skin tone. I could definitely use that as a transition, but not really as a setting concealer. The next two shades are beautiful metallics. This is Alien. Ooh, baby. I mean, his metallic formula is stunning. And then we've got Interstellar, which is coincidentally the name of one of my favourite films. It's a really weird shade. It's going to be hard to show you. It's like a taupey grey toned champagne. I don't know if it's picking up on camera there. I think that'd be stunning all over the lid, but it's a weird shade to kind of show. Then we've got the shade Abduction, which I have used on my eye. It's like a lime kind of chartreuse colour. It's not the most pigmented because it is a pastel, but it is pigmented when you build it up. But yeah, you do have to build it up. Then we have the shade UFO, which is like a true kind of, I'd say old gold shade. It's like a greeny gold. Oh, it's lovely. Then we have the shade Gravity, which is a really lovely transition shade. And then Martian Soil, which I've not touched or swatched, so let's see. Oh, that is like a proper mustard. That's gorgeous. Then we have Flying Saucer. Again, I haven't touched this. Oh, that's pretty pigmented, you know. Then we have Phone Home, which I've used quite a lot in my transition today. That's really pretty. Then we've got another metallic Moon Rock. That's really pretty. Green metallic. Then we have X-Files. Another of a favourite of mine, favourite TV show. One off, really good. I am not gonna fit all of these on one arm. Bit my tongue. Let's move on to this side. Okay, then we have Ghost OG, which is like a deep grey. Yeah, it's grey. I don't think it's green. I think it's grey. Then we have Area 51, which is a colour I used a lot today. This purple is not the best purple I've ever used. In fact, his purple, like I say later on in the blood sugar, is actually better than this by quite a bit. But there it is there. I have used it quite a bit on my eyes today. Another shade I've not touched, Space Cowboy. This is like a brown metallic. I don't really reach for brown metallics, but that is very pretty. Okay, one of the standout shades of the palette coming next. This is the shade Probe. Tomorrow I plan on putting this all over my eye in a smoky eye. This is like MAC Blue Brown pigment, but nicer. It's even more nice. Then our last two is Tall Grey and then Black Hole. So this is Tall Grey, which is like a blue toned grey, and then Black Hole, which is a black. One swipe, look at that pigment, that's sick. That is disgusting, that's amazing. So there are the swatches on that arm. Yeah, I mean Area 51 is a bit of a letdown, but I can look past it because I can build it up. And then here are the swatches on this arm. I mean, what an interesting colour scheme once they're actually in person. Like, this palette is so much more beautiful in person, trust me. Like, these swatches are sickening. What is your favourite colour there? I will point to mine. Mine's right now. Having swatched this palette fully now and seeing it all on my arms, I'm even more inspired. I just think they look stunning. I think all of these shades swatched really beautifully. Area 51, bit of a letdown because I know he can do purples, because the one in Blood Sugar, like I keep saying, is so good. I feel like this one's more patchy, it's a little harder to use, it's not as pigmented, but it is very, very, very firmly pressed in the pan, and I wonder if maybe that's the problem, because all the other ones that I've tried with a brush had a little bit of kickback in the pan, but Area 51 had like zero kickback. It's like completely stiff in that pan, and maybe that's why I found it a bit harder to get a lot of pigment out of it. Anyway, I'm going to stop yammering on now. What we're going to do is jump into putting the palette on my eyes, doing this look here. I'm going to try and do it fairly quickly because I don't want this video to be too long and I'm so bored of hearing my own voice, so let's jump into that. So I'm starting off by taking the shade Area 51 and I'm going to pop that all the way through my crease. And just to address this line above my lashes, I used a black eyeliner a few days ago and it is impossible to remove. So that is literally residue from like 3 days ago. So I'm really packing on Area 51. As you can see, it is a good purple. It is pigmented. And if you see kind of patchy areas, it's just where in my crease, my concealer and foundation have like settled throughout the day. I don't think this colour is actually patchy. But I do think, from having used it on the other eye, and I'll show you in a second, I do feel like when you blend, it disappears very, very quickly. Picking up that same shade on a bigger, fluffier brush, and I'm going to start to just buff it out just to diffuse the edges. And I don't know if you see what I mean, that the colour's really coming off, which isn't a big deal. A lot of really pigmented shadows I find do that, and it's just a case of building them up. But like, you can see where I've not blended that to where I've blended that. So now I'm picking up the shade Phone Home. This shade is a lot softer pressed in the pan. There's a lot more kick up in the pan when I pick up this shade on my brush compared to the first shade, Area 51. It's just much softer pressed. Area 51 I think is actually pretty firm in there. just in terms of the way it's been pressed into the pan. And I'm actually taking this shade on the side of my nose, like here. Kind of all the way into the side. This is actually a really pigmented colour. I really like it. It's quite a weird colour. It's like a, I don't know, like a mauvey kind of colour. Yeah, I'm taking that all the way into that kind of nose. Kind of nose? Side of the nose. And then really buffing it up in my crease. See, that purple's like pretty much disappeared. I'm not too mad at that because, like I said, I can go back and re-intensify it, but it's just so you know. I'm just picking up a tiny bit of gravity just because I did this on the other eye. And I'm going to pop it up here. I'm going straight into Black Hole on a kind of flattish brush. And this is a very good black. I'm pressing that on my outer corner, just tapping off the excess, and I'm taking that up into my crease in that rounded shape. Because we're just doing a kind of standard cut crease today. I will probably do some crazy big dramatic look with it, but this is just my first play, so just giving her a, breaking her in softly, you know. I'm going in with a fluffy brush now, and Area 51. This is my favourite brush of all time, the Morphe M506. It's just a great shape. And I'm going to start blending out the black. I'm going to try and show you most of what I'm doing, but I'm not wanting this to be like a tutorial. I just want to see you like, I can't speak. I just want you to see me applying it to my eye. Kind of how they're performing, and then like I did my James Charles one, I'll just do a full tutorial video next. Probably tomorrow I'll sit and film a proper tutorial. Right now I'm just wanting you to see kind of how they apply and things. So I'm just blending this out, circular motions. I know there is that bit there that it's not sticking to, but that is because that's just where my natural eye has creases, like I said before, so I'm not gonna poo-poo the eyeshadows because of that. I do think that's just my kind of eye base, and a fresh base would probably be better. But and I'm picking up Phone Home and just buffing that really gently around the edges, just to really soften them up. Just gonna pack on a bit more Black Hole just on this outer half just before I put on my cut crease. You can see how much that's like showing pigment again compared to having blended it out. So I'm just going to throw on my cut crease really quickly because I do it all the time, and then we'll come back and do all the greens and the liner and stuff. So I have my cut crease on, somewhat matches, somewhat doesn't. I'm going to take the shade Area 51, yes, and just run it along the side here just to kind of blend my concealer. Purples are really hard to do, and I still don't think this isn't the best purple I've ever used. I actually think the purple, is it shade Cavity in the Blood Sugar palette, is better, but there we go. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Pluto, and I'm putting that on the start of my cut crease. This is really pigmented. I really like this shade. It's just like a bright white metallic, but it's got like a greeny champagne undertone. It's a really pretty metallic shade, very pigmented over this concealer. I am just using it dry, but obviously over a tacky base. Then I'm taking a small flat brush in the shade Abduction, I think this shade would be perfect in the crease, like for blending out. But it does require quite a lot of building, I found on the other eye, although when you can see it is pigmented and it is depositing really nicely, but I just think this would be a really beautiful like transition shade more than like a packing on shade. But I mean, it is pretty. I will come back and blend, don't you worry. Then I'm picking up the shade Alien, which I looked at and I thought that's really ugly. I don't like that shade. But then when I actually have it on my eye, I do think it is really, really, really pretty. Again, going in with this dry but over tacky concealer. Like in the pan, it looks kind of like really grassy green, but I feel like on the eye it's slightly lighter, more kind of pastel-y, and I just think it's gorgeous. And then I'm picking up Probe, which is an incredibly beautiful shade, and I'm just gonna drag that into the purple on my outer corner. Again, I will come back, don't you worry, and make sure everything's blended. Are we matching? We are matching. Okay, I'm gonna just quickly do the lower lash line. So I'm just taking a pencil brush, an Area 51, and I run that along all the way. I do have quite a lot of fallout. I don't know if you are catching that on camera. I think I might actually take my base off and just redo my base makeup. I'm gonna go in with Black Hole. Really pack that on and into the top here. Then at the front, I'm taking the shade Probe, which is that gorgeous like duochrome blue. I'm gonna run that all along the front. It's just getting a little bit in my eye. A little bit in my eye. And then I'm picking up a bit more of the shade Alien, just at the very front. Let's pop a bit more here. And then inner corner and waterline, I'll just do it. It's my NYX white gel eyeliner. She's such a gorgeous inner corner shade. Then, obviously you don't have to do this, I'm just putting on a little bit of my Urban Decay Distortion liner. I just thought it would go really well with this look. I know some people get mad when I like add things, but it's my life. I'm just going around my cut crease with this, just to add a pinch of sparkle. So what I'm gonna do is throw on my, nope, we've not done liner. So I'm taking Jeffree Star Virginity as my liner. I'm gonna do ombre liner. And just gonna stamp it along. And then I'm just gonna start ombreing it, so I'm taking Black Hole. A black hole at the end. See, this is why you don't need to be neat with that end. And then Area 51. This liner's still wet, so the shadows are sticking to it pretty nicely. And then I'm picking up Phone Home. And I'm gonna use that shade to blend the really light lilac and that deep purple. So I'm gonna go away, wipe off all of my base makeup, because you can see on this side, like I did manage to not get that much fallout. Like it looks fine. But this side, I don't know, maybe I was just being a bit more kind of slapdash, and it's definitely got more fallout. So I'm just gonna wipe off my base. I wanted to do it anyway, to be honest, and I was just being lazy. And then I will come back with my lashes on and give you my final thoughts. But this is what it's looking like just now. Probably don't match, but when do they ever? So this is the look, of course, with the rest of my makeup done. Hopefully you'll have seen a close-up, or you'll be seeing one in a minute. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna edit it in. I really like how this look came out, but to be honest, I feel like it's something really, really similar to like the James Charles one I did, just with the purple and the green. And I feel like with this palette, if you want to make like a bold statement with it, you're gonna need to use like the greens and purples. So yeah, I do feel like I've done a look really similar to this before, but I am happy with it. I mean, I think, you know, my eyeshadow looks good, and you know, it's good. I do really like this palette. I am glad I bought it. I did only buy it, like I said, because I got asked so much to buy it and to do a review on it. And I do plan on sitting down again tomorrow and doing a tutorial, and hopefully doing something entirely different to this, to try and see kind of if it's a bit more, what's the word, versatile. Because I think there probably is quite a few different looks I could do with it. I mean, something like even that probe shade all over the lid and like a dark smoky eye. Oh, I might do that tomorrow. I mean, I am happy with it. My biggest issue with this palette, to be honest, is the packaging. I hate the packaging with an enormous passion. It's probably what put me off wanting to buy the palette immediately and like buying it on the day it actually released on Beauty Bay. I hate this packaging so much. I mean, yeah, I would have preferred it in like a square rectangle. I'm not gonna use it for the mirror. Like, I don't know, I just would like a nice square rectangle, like a kind of standard palette. I think would make me a lot happier, and I would probably find this palette more appealing. But if I'm just looking at the colors, there's a lot of colors in here I love. There's some colors in here I don't care about, but overall I am really happy with this palette. I am glad I bought it. Yeah, I've got marks on it already. But yeah, let me know what you think of this look that I created. I tried sticking my lashes on underneath my lash line, so this eye is watering so badly right now, so ignore that. I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I think my makeup looks good. There's nothing wrong with my makeup, but yeah, let's try tomorrow again and see if we can film some like entirely different look. Let me know what you think of the palette. Let me know what you think of this look down in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video if you did like it, so I know that you want to see a tutorial. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye.